Rexasaur here, and welcome to another World of Tanks tank review, where today we'll be reviewing the Tier 9 Chinese medium tank, the WZ-120. Now, I have just recently unlocked the 121. I haven't got the top engine yet. So those are the things you need to take into consideration. Stat-wise, look at my service records and my vehicles. Tier 9, oh my god. Tier 9, WZ-120, there you go. I've played 219 games with a 53% win ratio in it, doing an average of 742 XP per game, and whatever that means. Per vehicle efficiency apparently of 38, whatever the fuck that means. And I do have a mastery badge in it. I will show you two lovely games that I've had in this tank. What do I think about this tank before I go into all the stats? I love it. I really like it. It's so good. Other things you need to put into consideration: I have my female crew in this. I unlocked the Strug 4 and I put my crew into this tank, which means that these are incredibly good. This tank is going to be beyond what a normal crew will be. So it's slightly ridiculous, slightly really powerful. Anyway, so what are the stats? 1650 hit points, which is very good for a tier 9 medium tank. It's pretty good actually. It's a good buffer. You can be hit 4 times by an IS-8 and die 3 times and you won't, kind of thing. I don't know. It's very good. You can get hit by an average shot of if you get hit by a T-57 heavy 4 times and it does average rolls, you will survive. That's a good thing to think about. The load limit and the weight generally is pretty good. I don't think I need to research the tracks. Oh no, I definitely did. Yeah, you have to research the tracks, but it's really good. Anyway, the guns themselves, before I go into much, are terrible. Every single one of these guns is shit compared to this one. You can play the tank with this gun. I highly recommend this one. It blows every other vehicle out of the water because of this gun. It has 580 horsepower, which means its top speed is 56. It also allows it to have a traverse speed of 46 and a turret traverse of 42, which is really good. It's a very mobile tank. I say very mobile. It's not as mobile as, say, the FV4202 or the Churchill 7-1. Its depression is terrible, but it's a mobile tank. Like, compared to the T-54, it's slightly slower, but it packs a much bigger punch. Hull armor is 180 and 45, and the turret armor is 220, 160, 65. Armor wise, I would not expect anything to bounce unless you're facing them in the turret in the front. This tank doesn't bounce very well. It bounces, it definitely bounces very often, but don't expect it to. Do not just think I can bounce everything. That is something that's got me into trouble many times, because I look at these stats and I'm like, oh, my turret's really good. But the thing is, this tank is much higher than a T-54 and will not bounce from the front very well. Angles? Yeah, sure. But most of the time it'll be the turret that bounces for you. What else can we see about this? Well, the actual gun reload, which is a thing because of my mod, I think that's not been added, is 9.91, which is ridiculously good. I have female crew, as I said, 100% female crew, which means they have brothers or sisters of sister of steel, and I also have a improved ventilation, which increases the screw skills by another 5, and I also have a gun ram which reduces loading time by 10%, which means that this gun is ridiculous. If you look at the stats of this gun, 249 pen, 440 damage with a 9-second reload on a medium tank. Yes, it's ridiculous. Yes, I know, it's really ridiculous. The reason it's ridiculous is because this is an IS-8's gun on a medium tank, which fires faster than an IS-8, and usually guns fire fastest on heavy tanks. It's so good, and it has heat if you need it, which does oops, a daisy, which has an average penetration. Why did I do that? The average penetration of heat is 340. And then you can have a HE if you really want to, which I've used on occasion to do an amazing 530 damage average. This tank is ridiculous. If you see my STI review, you will see how easy I rack up damage with that gun. This gun is the same gun as the STI. It's ridiculous. It does exactly the same amount of damage. You don't have the possibility in this tank very often to do that kind of game, do 6,000 damage a game, but it does rack up very, very quickly, and you will see in one of these games. So what do I recommend before we go in? I played it without the top engine because I wanted the 121 straight away, because I didn't feel as if I needed the top engine. I am very sure that the top engine will be incredibly useful, because even the smallest change, even this extra 20 horsepower is going to do a very big difference. But I felt like the tank performs very, very well without that engine. But that is not something I'm going to recommend to all of you. If you feel as if the tank's doing well, don't worry about the engine. Honestly, I enjoyed this tank. This is my favorite tier 9 tank. Okay, and I have a lot of tier 9. My Rexasaur I adore, Waffenträger Panzer IV I adore, Kununkuroi I adore. I just love my tier 9 tanks, but this has blown them all out of the water. That's how amazing it is. But anyway, enough of me ejaculating all over this tank. Let me show you some replays. So in this first replay, we are not top tier, but we are very well placed. It's half tier 9 and 10, and then a little bit tier 8, which is very good placement for this tank. This tank does well if it's bottom tier, top tier, or mid tier. It really doesn't matter. But this game is very, it's very good placement. I'm not going to complain at all. There's a lot of tier 8 tanks, there's a lot of tier 9 tanks, but most of the tier 9s and 10s actually are artillery. If you've seen on my team, I've got 4 artillery. On their team, they've also got 4, but they've got a lower placed one. So that's slightly ridiculous. So here we go. We've started the game. We're going to go on the right side of Erlenberg, down the 9 line, and we're going to do some scouty scout time. Also going to give you the tank list. As you can see by the colours, our team is slightly better off. Kind of. Like, we have more greens than they do. They've got more yellows than we do because we have a lot of orange players. Orange players are slightly low tier kind of players, and they have the only unique red player. But that doesn't mean he's a bad player, it just means overall these guys have been consistently getting better games. So it's very balanced. The other big difference is that they've got 2 FV183s, we've only got 1, and we have a Jagdpanzer 100 as well. So I'm going to I'm going to put myself in this little ditch here, where I spot a T-71. I'm going to try and get him in the face, boom, and straight away 516 damage. What kind of medium tank does that kind of raw damage in one shot? It's absolutely ridiculous. The only tank I've ever done high rolls like that is like the T-54E1, but even then it doesn't go up to 500. The reason, like the fact that this tank does 440 average means that you can get really high rolls or up to 530. It's so good. And I'm going to put another shot, and I don't put another shot because I was doing something. I don't know why I didn't put another shot there, but it doesn't matter. T-71 is basically being a really annoying person right now, and spotting most of our tanks, so none of us are moving forwards. I'm going to go into free cam. To my right is a T-71 and a T-44, and then behind me is a 131 and a 121, and then the T-71, I just go towards him and miss my shell. He doesn't keep going back, but I could have got him. There's also Jagdpanzer 100 and the WZ-1114. Carry on going. I'm just going to wait. I'm waiting until I take out the T-71 before moving forwards, because I know that above and in front of me is a FV-4202, very dangerous medium tank, very mobile compared to me, and has also an incredibly powerful gun. And I managed to get the T-71. I've killed all of I killed all of him, doing 840 health in 2 shots, which is pretty good, barring the one I missed. So overall, right now it's 2-1. Very slow game. No one's moving too fast forwards, except for this FV, it's WZ-1114. Who rushes forward and get hit by the Lorraine 40 ton, and then an explosion happens, probably for one of the artilleries, and we're just going to cautiously step forward. This tank is a cautious tank. It's definitely a frontline support tank rather than a frontline tank like a heavy would be, but it can do the job if it's required. If there's no heavy tanks on your team, you are going to be the front heavy. Just like WZ right now, although WZ just got absolutely owned. I'm going to try and put a shot into this FV4202. Aim. And I basically goes low and goes into his bottom track. And there's the 183. I'm shit scared. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do right now. I'm just going to go forward. Try and get this FE4202. I shoot and it bounces. A really terrible shot, and I probably should have aimed that forwards, to be honest, to be able to get that in. So 2 bounces off the FE4202. I'm going to keep going forward. Slowly and cautiously advancing, waiting for the Jaeger. Basically the Jagdpanzer E100 behind me is my support. It's what's supporting me right now. I'm acting now as the frontliner. I'm also getting myself into these ditches, so A, I can't get spotted, and B, if I am spotted, nothing can shoot me. Artillery is the only problem, because they have 4 artilleries. They can probably get me if I'm spotted, which is why I'm cautiously trying to stop. And I'm quite, like, I'm not that low of a tank, but I'm still quite low of a tank. Like, compared to Jaegeru, it's not that bad. Behind me, the light tanks are starting to move up. I'm basically waiting for the light tanks to move up. There's a WZ there. There's the T71. T71 is going to go on top. He spots the Tiger 2 and then buggers out. I see that he hasn't spotted anything, so I think I can move forward because there's nothing there. And then I get spotted, and at this point I'm like, oh shit, what was it? Was it the Tiger 2? Was it the Lorraine? I'm not sure, so I'm just going to go once again into this small little ditch, and I'm going to move forward. Tiger 2 is spotted there. He's on low health. He's a red player, so that means he's probably a very recent player. He's only just recently got the Tiger 2, and then I put a shot without really aiming at him. Because he's stock, I thought I could go through a turret even if I didn't. But I managed to penetrate and do 430 damage. Very good amount of damage. The Tiger 2 is no longer spotted. I'm going to move forward. I'm not entirely sure if artillery was still there or not. The Tiger 2 actually gets killed by our artillery. I noticed that in game. And then I get hit by something very big, and it's actually a TD. The Lorraine puts a shot into me with gold ammunition. And there's the Waffle Tranger out of Panzer IV. Then he bounces off me, which is pretty lucky. Our artillery, our batch, well, all of our artillery to be honest, was spot on in this game. Absolutely fantastic. I cannot say just how good top player artilleries are. It's just every time you spot something, something dies. It's brilliant. So there's an ISU, and we're just going to keep forward. There's the 183. There's actually 2 183s on the enemy team. And the other one has still not been spotted. And there's the M53, M55, who also gets spotted and does stuff. 183 gets hit by artillery. I'm going to aim. I'm basic right now. I'm trying to set stuff on fire. As you can see, my shot went way to the left, but it goes in anyway. But it doesn't get into the engine. At this point, my mission was to set things on fire. It doesn't actually say that, but that is what I was trying to do. But I'm just going to try and get this 183, but he gets killed by the Jaegeru. So I'm just going to keep going forward. Oh, I'm not. I'm going to back off, apparently. There's the Waffle Tractor and Panzer IV. And then, boom. Get him in the engine. I think I broke his engine. Or he was aiming. Then artillery hits him once. And I've already reloaded. As you can see how fast the reload is, and he gets killed by the Jaegeru. But yeah, I'm reloading really, really fast. And it's ridiculously how fast I'm reloading. Because 9.91 is basically, you can laugh at it, to be honest. Because it's ridiculously good. There's artillery. He misses. I was actually tempted to just let him go. As in, wait for artillery to get him, but that doesn't happen because it shots. So now I'm going to go forward. There's the other 183. He's not looking at me right at all. But he buggers out. I'm going to put a shot into him. Another really high roll of 515. Putting my total up to 3,300 damage, which is ridiculous. Like I said, what have I done? 8 hits, and I'm already on 3k damage. Like, a T54 would not have got that more. 8 hits on 300 would have done 2,400. So I've already done 1,000 more damage. And then, at this point, I'm trying to get in, but it's too late because I go forward. I put a shot, but I bounce on the side, or the tracks eat it, one or the other. But it's too late. The FV will get killed by artillery. Or not. No, he will. Yeah, I thought so. All the artillery is going for him now. So all that's left is the Lorraine 155-51. So yeah, that was a incredibly good game on Erlenberg. I mean, it wasn't absolutely fantastic, fandaddy-dabble, like the next game I'm going to show you, but it was definitely showing you how to play this tank in a game where basically there's so much arty that you're going to die no matter what happens. But I didn't, because I played it cautiously. I used the scouts behind me, the Jaegeru behind me, all that being the frontliner, the frontline support tank. At a point, you know, trying to get out of the scouts. That's how you should play this tank, and to be fair, that's how you should play all mediums. But this tank excels at doing that just because of the raw damage it does. So there we go, that's the first replay, and I'll see you on the next one. Actually, we're going to see the results screen first. So 1500 XP, 58,000 credits gained from this game, where I did over 3.3 damage, 3k damage, getting 1000 base XP, doing really well. So yeah, this tank is doing incredibly well. So now we're going to watch the next replay. Okay guys, here we are on the second replay. We are once again mid-tier. Oh, it's top tier, but mid-tier if you know what I mean. Because we are tier 9, there are half the team's tier 9, half the team is tier 8. And there are some tier 7s on both teams, including a GW Panther each. This game was ridiculously good. Like, I don't think I've ever had this good of a game in this tank or in World of Tanks. I think I can count on my fingers the amount of games that I've had that were this good, and all of them were definitely not this high tier. We are in the sort of how many good players on each team. Once again, we've got more green players, but they have way more yellow players. Now, I know a lot of people don't like this kind of stats kind of thing. It's like, oh yeah, well it doesn't mean anything because I mean everyone can have a bad game kind of thing. Yeah, that's true, but I can rely on my green players to, you know, be able to do something. Sometimes I'd put a random shot into the 1390 just to see if I could hit that, but I can't. I'm gonna head up the up to the hill on the 0 line, and I noticed that no one else is, and actually everyone is going down the other side. Which doesn't turn out too well for them. This game was very strange, because now that I look at it, I mean, I know what happens, but now that I look at it, it feels weird that what happened did happen, because judging by how we attacked right at the beginning, or how our team attacked right at the beginning, it seems like the game would have finished really, really quickly. This game actually lasted quite a bit of time, and it was very, very nail-biting. I was really trying my best not to die, basically. Because at this point I am the only person on the hill and the only person defending our flank. Of course, it's not too much of a bother, but this hill does give a very good vantage point over the rest of the battlefield. And I'm just going to make my way up. As you can see, I'm going uphill about 30 kilometers per hour. It's not too fast, but it's not slow either, and it's not the most mobile of tanks. The depression is awful. I mean, I can say this. This tank has the worst depression I've ever played, to be honest. I mean, I've had worse, but for something that's supposed to be mediuming, going around the corners kind of thing, it's just so bad. But anyway, going forward, there's a T-54E1, and I'm going to do some peekaboo tactics with my tank and try and hit whatever I can. There is a GW Panther on the battlefield, but I have to say he was not the best. At this point, we've already lost 3 tanks. They've only lost 1. They've lost their red Tiger 1 player, whilst we have lost 2 orange, 2 tier 9s as well. A T-54 and a T-54 lightweight. There's our first shot. Is a very low roll. When you look at that, 393, that seems really high. That's actually 50 below average. 50 is ridiculous. Dan, that's 1 above. So there we go, doing 2 shots already, 800 damage, almost 1000. So really good going on right now. We've bounced all the shots that have been against us on our turret, because this is a really good place to get the turret shots. And the T-54 bounces on us again. Then he doesn't. He actually managed to get a shot in because I angled too much and he got into my side. But we put another shot into it, equaling our score up to 1331. Then I put a shot into his tracks and nothing happens. It gets absorbed. If we look at the map right now, there's a T-54 creeping up below the hill line. I'm going to put a shot into the T-54. Boom, 409 damage. Very low roll again. There is an AMX 1375 just ahead, as well as another T-54. And here is the T-54E1. He disappears. I put a shot. It doesn't kill him. If I had gone slightly more to the left, I might have been able to get him. And there's the T-54. He's a stock T-54. He's the one who was bothering me earlier. I go up on the hill. That's probably not the best idea, but I do not get punished for it, so it's okay. And then I get spotted, so that's probably why I didn't get punishment, because I just got spotted. But T-54 is there. I'm going to go down. He's going to go up. I put a shot. He shoots me as well. I've done a... The great thing about this tank, especially against T-54s, is that you get the same amount of health as each other, but because you deal so much more damage and reload so quickly, you can out DPM a T-54. I think that's true. It's very possible that depending on what gun the T-54 has, I mean, a fully upgraded T-54 is really, really strong, because it's got like a 5 or 6 second reload that deals 300 damage or 320, which is very good. But that 440 damage means that if it hits a module, it's going to break the module, kind of thing. There's a T-30 down there, and I've killed that T-54 earlier, as you can probably tell. And there's a T-30. I'm going to put a shot in his side, or at least attempt to, but it's not looking so well. I think I've been spotted, actually. I'm going to put a shot and miss. A T-30 shoots. No, he doesn't even shoot. Okay. Gonna keep going forward. Try and poke out. And poke back in. I am still the only person on the hill. No one has joined me. We are losing 5-7. Which is not good. And there's a T-43. Very low tier tank for this. And there's a 1375, which I'm going to take out straight away. He spots me. And then the T-43 bounces, but I was you can expect that to happen. He's a tier 7 tank. He gets me in the track, which is absorbed. But yeah, get the 1375 because it spots me, and you know, scout tanks are really dangerous, kind of. So I went for the kill rather than the damage. So there we go. We got 2,828 damage already, 7 hits, and the game is nowhere near finished. And there's the T-30. I'm going to try and put a slot into the side, and I do, and I kill him, putting up our damage total to 3,220. Already, if I die right now by the GW Panther, I've had an amazingly good game for this tank. And this game is nowhere near finished. This is just the beginning. So there's the T-54. My thinking right now is that I'm going to hide myself behind the rocks, prevent everything from shooting at me. I'm going to try and look down, get that T-54. What's the big downfall? This tank has no depression, so I'm unable to do that, unable to use it to my advantage. There's the M103. I'm going to try and put a shot into him. I think I've been spotted, but then he moves back. Put a shot, and it hits him in the side, doing a very high roll, almost 500. Put a shot into his side. My total is almost at 4,000 damage. One more shot puts it up to 4,000. A very, very ridiculous amount of damage. There's the T-54, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to go forward, try and get it. And I try and aim, shoot. And I have no idea where that shot went. It might have hit a building, might have hit a rock on the way. Doesn't matter. It doesn't hit. I have to concentrate, try to see where he's going. He's going to either go back to where he was before, or he's going to try and go around to my left side, following this ridge that I've just moved my cursor over. A super Pershing is spotted down the south. At this point, I'm the only tier 9 on my team. The enemy still have 3, and they also have a very good Borsig player, also on 3 kills. And a GW Panther. We still have GW Panther, but he doesn't seem to be doing too much good right now. T-54, he spots me, and I put a random shot in. There's the Borsig. I am scared shitless. At that point, my arm tweaked, either because it was my mouse, or it was me, like, panicking at something, because I was spotted and I didn't particularly want to get shot. The game rests basically on how good my team are going to do, or how good I'm going to do. And as it is, it's going to be how good I do, because like 3 tier 9s and that Borsig can absolutely mash up my team. We still have tier 7s on our team. We have 3 of them. They've only got that one. There's the T-54, and then massive hits from me. I take a penetrating hit from the T-43 and from the Borsig, which is ridiculous. T-43 comes along. I absolutely missed that shot. Bonk it. That could have been the end. T-54 gets killed by a T-54 lightweight on our team. Thankfully, the T-43 dies after I managed to bounce him on my front. You can bounce tier 7s very well. That was the turning point. At this point, I'm like, well, I'm invincible now. There is no point. There goes the M103, and he dodges my shell. I've done 4k damage. I'm going to try and get that next hit on him. So right now, there are 4 tanks on our team, 4 tanks on their team. They have 2 tier 9s, we have 1. They have a Borsig, we don't. That kind of thing. We have a tier 9 and 3 tier 7s. They've got 2 tier 9s, 1 tier 8, 1 tier 7. The 1375 is behind me. He's shooting and spotting for me, which is great. And I'm going to go down this side, because at this point I'm like, on the map, well, the M13's down there. That means he can't spot me. The Borsig is going to be looking the other way because he expects me to come the other side, so I'm going to go this side. If I had been spotted at this point, I would be dead. The Borsig takes out 13975, which means that he's fired, so I can take him out. At this point, the game is ours. I just need to kill the rest of them. The artillery misses me. The T-54 is all that's left. And then, suddenly, as I go over there to try and get a flanking shot on the T-54, I actually managed to spot the GW Panther. He spots me, which means there he is. So I can shoot him. I'm going to aim this one. And I kill him. I mean aim, I mean sort of aim. Which is the top gun for almost 5k damage. Which is great. So this game was just ridiculously good. And like I've done, like looking through it at the time, I was like, oh my god, there couldn't have been a more perfect game. But there's a lot of mistakes I made and that I wasn't punished for. I say a lot, I mean it could have been much worse. I missed my shot on the T-54, but the Jagd Panther has the in the bag, shoots him, game, set and match. And now the results screen. So here's the results screen, getting ourselves a mastery badge, 71,000 credits and 2,100 XP. And I don't believe that was my ×2. So coming to our team with a base XP of 1,400, which is a lot, and doing almost 6k damage, well 5.3k, it's pretty good. As well as blocking 1,500 damage with our tanks. So, what do I think about the WZ-120? Well, you can probably tell that I bloody love it, and it's amazing, and it's a tank I'm definitely going to miss, but I'm probably going to buy it back because I'm going to sell it to get the 121, try that tank out, do a little review for that one, and possibly get the 120 back, because I still have a crew for it. I have my female crew in the 120, but I still have the crew that was in it before I got the female crew, so it's an option. This is also the first tank that I've completely done with a female crew, and what I would say is that a female crew definitely helps. It makes the tank so much much better. I think one of the main reasons why I didn't get the top engine is because my female crew, the fact that they were so good already stats wise, meant that they basically compensated for the fact that I didn't have the top engine and made it seem as if I did. So if I had the top engine, I probably would have been so much more mobile. Disadvantages of the tank: your lack of depression, and the fact that, you know, it's quite easy to outmaneuver you from another tank. Also, you take a lot of damage very quickly, especially since if you're playing the tank right, or in my opinion, what is right with the tank, you have to be quite far up front. Which means you're going to take a lot of damage if you get hit. But as you saw in the last replay, I did manage to bounce quite a few shots. So, yeah, it doesn't matter. So there we go. That's my opinion of the WZ-120. Would I recommend it? Hell yes, I would recommend it. Would I recommend the whole Chinese line? Hell yes. Except for the tier 8. Screw the tier 8. I didn't do a review for it because I hated it to bits. And I actually 3xP'd my way out of that one. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe for more stuff. I am at the moment on a small hiatus, so there's very rarely going to be videos. This is actually my first video since I said I would be on hiatus, and I will continue this. This is just because I've just finished the WZ-120 grind, and I thought, oh, everyone wants to see this review. Plus 9.9 is coming out very soon, so there we go. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.